Hi everyone, if you don't know me already, my name is Matthew Faisa and I'm a medical student from London interested in sports medicine. Usually we do sports medicine and injury content here on this channel. However, on the basis and recommendation from a subscriber, I'm going to react to some of the worst tackles in Premier League history. Today, we're going to tackle Graeme the Pogba hating Souness, who is notoriously a very hard player, going in for rough challenges, leaving a foot in when unnecessary, and along these lines. So I got these clips from Twitter, and I'll leave the link in the description to the two links where I found it. And it's basically like a compilation of his worst tackles. So we're going to see it and kind of analyse to see what injuries potentially happened to the other players. So let's get on the way. Flipping, what is that? So that's the first tackle. That is a very crunching tackle. We're going to kind of watch that and try and see if we can see exactly what happened. So he's in the blue, he comes flying in on number 4, and what looks like is he's going for the ankle. Yeah, that's pretty bad. You know, if we kind of look at the tackle and see that it's coming in directly on the ankle, potentially you're going to see not only bone breaks, but also a lot of ligament damage. And what's that called? That's called a fracture dislocation. So the fracture occurs through the break in the ankle joint, whether that's with the malleolus, which is like the bony ball on the ankle, or the tibia, which is the thick bone in the shin that goes all the way down to your foot, or even the kind of thin bone on the side called the fibula. The fibula is a very weak bone, and typically, based on my experience, I've seen it break quite frequently, whether that's in like car crashes or just any general tackle even. Because of it's so thin and it relies on the structural integrity of that tibia bone, once that tibia bone goes, it kind of can go straight through. I'll leave a diagram on the side so you can kind of get a visual idea of what I'm talking about. If you have any comments, make sure to comment down below and I'll try and answer any questions you have. Yeah, so with this one, it's a bit different to the other one that we saw him on the player that had the red and number 4 on. He looks like he's going for the kind of the calf. So what he's doing is, say that's the foot. He's going from behind and literally going studs up by the looks of it on the calf and also behind the ankle joint. And what that does is it's going to cause a lot of soft tissue damage at least. You know, it's not nice getting studs in behind. However, I don't think that's going to cause too much damage unless that follow through goes all the way through, where it can lead to bone breaks or kind of existential damage to structures lower down, such as the foot and the Achilles. As we know from the video I made on Santi Cazorla, the Achilles is a very scary injury to have, you know. I remember there's a stat by ESPN and basketballreference.com, I've said it many times in this channel and on my last video, where I commented on Pablo Mari, who I thought had an Achilles injury. He hasn't, which is good. But in the stat and the research carried out by ESPN, it showed that out of the 24 players that had an Achilles injury, 17 of them were forced to retire. And 5 of them came back but at a diminished level, with only 2 returning to either be better or at the same level. So, you know, an Achilles is a dangerous injury to have. If you want more information on that, click the I button and you can watch the Santi Cazorla video on how I talked about it. But let's get back on the way. Oh, we gotta see that one again. Okay. I'll be interested to see what you guys think of this one. I can't actually tell what he's hitting, you know, because it's not the best quality, but it's very high up, like unnecessarily high, and he's either hit him in 2 places, either directly in the thigh, or he's hit him unfortunately in his genital area, on his balls. So let's say, you know, the worst potential situation here. This guy could have a ruptured scrotum, and that's a very bad situation, as you can all imagine. And if he hits on the thigh, let's try to think a little bit outside the box, and let's say, based on how the groin works, you have groin muscles that kind of adduct, which is close your legs, and abduct, which is open your legs. If that force is forcing you to open it, your groin might be tensed in the wrong direction, and as a result, it might cause strain in that region. So it's like kind of like a clamp. It's like this, and the tackle is just forcing it so it collapses like that, if that makes sense. And considering the high nature of this injury, I think we take the groin injury, or the stud marks, over potentially a ruptured scrotum or issues along those lines. Flip that. Oh, another scrotum injury. Let's see this. He goes in recklessly here. Oh, this could be the worst one of them all. Okay, he goes in very high, very high. So this is a 50-50 as well. But as we see, typical of Graeme Souness, he's going in, studs up, 100% in, which perhaps is good in terms of, showing desire to win the ball, but it's putting players' safety at risk and player lives at risk, to be honest. And he's coming in. Let's see this. So the guy's left leg appears to be outstretched. Graeme Souness is coming in directly on that knee. And what's that's going to happen, that is going to kind of cause the knee to depress inwards and cause a lot of internal ligament damage, in my opinion, and potentially broken bones on the shin. So in terms of, if you think about the ligaments that could be damaged in the leg, when he tackles him, the knee is flexed. However, as you assume, the force is going to cause it to straighten out and hyperextend. As well, it's going to cause a lot of injuries potentially to the ACL and the PCL, which are responsible for keeping the tibia, the shin bone, and the femur, the thigh bone, in kind of a correct orientation and make sure they don't slip each other. This is similar to Leno's injury, the Arsenal goalkeeper, who had a collision with Mbappe as he was quite reckless. And as Leno fell on his outstretched leg, it caused an ACL damage, and now we see Leno is out for pretty much a year. And in addition to that, as you mentioned before, the fracture dislocations, potentially there could be a fracture to his shin bone, the tibia. That's a nasty injury to have, and the way you would kind of deal with that is you got to reduce it. So say it's been broken like this, you need to reduce that gap so you kind of go in the correct orientation, and you would use something called an external fixation method. I'm going to put an image up, but that basically uses kind of metal kind of pins and structures, but they're placed outside the body, and they place a little bit of tension and strength to kind of realign that bone. And then once it's like this, they remove the external contraption, and then they use internal, like metal nails, metal plates and things along those lines. And that's inside the body. However, that's the final stage. And then after that, obviously, kind of rehab and physio. However, that process is a very long process, and that's going to take you nearly a year to happen. Okay, that's the same one we saw last time. Oh! Oh. So nothing. This is dangerous, obviously, but for Graeme Souness, it's normal. It's not too bad. The scrotum shots were a little bit worse, but he comes in here very high, almost at chest level, and that's going to be sore in the morning. But I don't see anything bad with it in the terms of the player's not going to have serious injuries as a result of this. I don't think the force generated by Souness is enough to kind of break a rib. But breaking a rib, I assume, would be the worst possible situation. Potential risk of this, at the worst case scenario, potentially could be something like pneumothorax. Pneumothorax is when there's kind of a pierce in the lung that causes a one-way valve. So air doesn't go in and it only goes out. And as a result, it diminishes one lung, as I said before. And that results in one side of your lungs not working and not kind of helping you breathe correctly. Pneumothorax is a big emergency situation amongst young athletes in particular. I'm not sure exactly why, but in a situation like that, when you have one side of the lungs not breathing correctly, you have a split decision and a few seconds to deal with it, or the player will die. And the way you deal with it is you get a needle or a cannula, as they call it in hospitals. And before, you used to stick it here in the second intercostal space, mid-clavicular, so the clavicle bone in the middle here. You would stick it right there, and that kind of allows air to escape the lungs before being trapped in the body. But alternatively, there's new guidance where they do it now on the 5th intercostal space mid-axillary. So the axillary is the armpits, and you just do it around there, and it does the same job pretty much. So that's the end of the video now. Depending on the feedback from all of you, I'm happy to do this again and again. You know, it's quite fun and a break from the usual structured content we do. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, do all of that good stuff. I want to say thanks for all the new subscribers that are part of the community here. You know, it's growing slowly. I'm very happy with the progress, and ultimately this is my passion, so I've got plenty of time to kind of cater to your needs and also cater to my own educational needs. So apart from that, I'll say you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time.